all just doing a bit of topping this morning.
Yeah, doing some topping.
Or every morning, should we say, for the past 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's definitely the topping season.
Yeah, we're just trying to get on top of every field now, aren't we?
On top of every field.
Ah, good word.
Yeah.
Start saying it's about the topper, you're just about to go over a big thistle, aren't you?
I'm about to go over an absolute beast.
Yeah. So, any rules in particular when going over this thistle?
Yeah, so it's a general rule in topping anyway, but obviously this one's an absolute giant. So it's really important that I don't drive over it before the tractor gets a chance for the topper to go over it. So what I mean by that is obviously a tractor's got 4 tyres and you just don't want the tyres themselves to be driving over the thistle. And the reason for that is because the tyre will push it right into the ground and then it's harder for the topper to actually chomp it up because it's all been pressed in, because the blades obviously go round like that, so the more it's off the ground the better it will cut it. So that's the general rule for all the topping. You always want to try your best to be going around all of the docks, thistles, ragweed, anything that you're topping, just to do as good a job as possible. Obviously when the field is quite scattered in different weeds, it can be a bit hard to avoid them all, but definitely with the big ones you want to be trying your best to do that. And then
is it right that because the thistles are sharp, it's not really going to cause a puncture, is it?
I think you'd be very unlucky because obviously tractor tyres are really hardy, and then thistles, as much as they are really sharp and obviously they would cut our skin and things, they're not likely to puncture a tyre. But one that size, I mean, you never know, if one got right in the right spot it could, and then we'd have a whole new set of problems.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, as we said, I'm just on the tractor with Pops and she is going to explain a bit about the topper and why we do it, etc.
Oh goodness. So yeah, topping, basically the main aim for topping is to just keep the fields as clean as possible. So it's always around this time of year. We're currently just coming to July, it's 1st of July today, and it's always around this time of year we do it, and there's a few reasons for that. Firstly, because obviously the weather is nice and dry, so we're able to get onto the fields without making any mess at all. I don't know if you can tell, but you'd never know the tractor was actually driven on this field, despite the fact it's been all over it, because it is so dry you can't see any tyre marks. So that's one really important thing. So we're not causing any compaction and we're not ruining the quality of the ground by doing it. And then also by July the cows have been out grazing now for a good 2 to 3 months, 2 months full time, and then obviously they go out for a little bit before they're out full time. So because of that the grass does start to get almost a little bit tired. What I mean by that is it's not so lush, it's not so fresh, because they keep going over the same pasture all the time. It starts to get a little bit more almost like, say,
tainted?
Yeah, tainted and almost like stalky.
And they'll avoid bits that they've, like, obviously because they manure in the fields, next time then they might avoid that.
Yeah, where they've like pooed and weed, they'll like leave little tufts of grass. If you're ever driving across the road and you look into a field, you might notice like there's little green circles almost, and that is where they've pooed and weed, and actually they do try and avoid eating that. So the topper is really, really good for spreading that over the field, which actually really helps the grass then to gain more nutrients. It grows back more evenly and more lush, and then the cows in the long run enjoy it a lot more. And then of course another extremely important thing the topper does is get rid of any weeds. So as you can see in this field there's quite a lot of docks. The docks are probably the worst thing in this field, and there's some really big thistles. And the reason we have to completely get rid of them and top them away is because if we left them they would come to seed, and then what happens is the seed blows away in the wind and then they'll land all over the field, and next year we'd have triple the amount of thistles we have this year because we're allowing it to spread. So that's why it's really important we get on the field in enough time to try and stop that happening. And yeah, hopefully then in the long term we'll end up with less thistles and docks.
So how does the topper work then? Because we can see it spitting the grass out the back. Like, what is it doing?
Yeah, so what it's doing is it's got blades that basically rotate like this. And it is just chopping up the grass then and the thistles and all the weeds. It's just chopping it with the blades and spitting it out the back, as you said. And then there is actually a roller as well behind the blades, and that is what's kind of spreading the manure. So I don't know if you can tell, but where there's little patches of poo, it's actually being spread a little bit across the field, and that's been done by the roller. And like I said, the reason that's good is because it's actually spreading all the really good nutrients that come from poo and wee. It's putting it across the field, and then that's helping it to all be nice and...
Will the roller help flatten the ground as well, or is it not big enough?
I don't think it's really big enough. I mean, our dad is probably the good one. We'll probably speak to him a bit later now, and he'll be a bit more knowledgeable on the topper and all that kind of thing. But unfortunately not, because actually this field is quite bumpy. I'm not able to go particularly fast today, because it is a bit more of an uneven field. But yeah, the thing with the topper is it's designed to chew up like really hardy grass, big thistles, things like that. But you do have to be really careful with it, because if it's bouncing too much, there's certain faults, and it's like any machine, like you don't want to be going too rough with it, because things do break and snap. So I am having to go really slow today, but I've completely gone on a tangent there about the question. The roller is, yeah, really good for spreading the manure and things like that. I think it would surely help a little bit with flattening out the ground, but it's definitely not going to do a job that a proper big heavy roller would do.
So could you mow silage with it? Because it almost feels like you're essentially cutting the grass like a mower. What is the difference between this and a mower?
Yeah, so do you know what, right? I've been doing this now, and Josie's been doing it over the last few weeks, and this has actually been a question that we'll ask our dad when we get back. But before we ask him, I'm going to have a little guess and see how far off I am. So I would say the difference between a topper and a mower is the blades is definitely different. So on a mower, the blades go round like this, so it chops it at the base, whereas the topper chops it like this. So I think it's almost like...
Yeah, you're not cutting it as close to the ground,
yeah, so it's almost like it's just mushing in, like...
And it probably would struggle to top. Although, I don't know, Dad's topped some pretty big stuff in the past.
Yeah, so you can really like go into hedges and tidy them up with the topper. If you had loads of overgrowth of weeds like in a hedge, if it's nice and dry, you can top that up, and it's really good for things like that. But I don't think it preserves it very well. So if you were to like mow a field with it, I don't think it would do very well with the grass. But we'll definitely ask my dad that question, because I'm really interested to know that as well.
Okay, my last question then is, have you ever come across a thistle too big?
Do you know what, the ones that we've just filmed questions today are probably the biggest ones that I've actually seen.
Oh, lucky us.
Yeah, they're huge.
They are big. So yeah. I started topping while Poppy was on honeymoon. They were in this field, and then when they went to their next field, I started topping, and to be honest, I probably should have topped this one the last time they were in here. I probably am one turn too late on this field. As you can see, it's quite jockey and all. And that's why these thistles in this field are really, really big as well.
Yeah, it's quite hard to get the timing right sometimes, because you don't want to go in too early, because you almost need the thistles to sprout to be able to cut them down. Like sometimes you'll find if you come in and top too soon, you have to do it again, because some will just all of a sudden sprout and you're like, oh, I literally chopped that thing. Yeah. So it can be really difficult to time it well, but yeah, these thistles do seem to have had a growth spurt. But yeah, the worst thing that will happen if you've got a huge thistle is you'll look back. So I always make sure I'm looking back quite often, just to make sure everything's cutting well. And obviously with any machine, you always want to be checking that you haven't developed any problems. But the worst thing that will happen is you'll go over it, and then the last little bit won't have chopped very well. and then I just go back over it. Usually I'll try and go in the other direction so you can like pick it up the other way and just go over it again, and then by that time usually it's chopped all up well. Yeah, one more thing I'll say for anyone who's interested, topping is a really nice job. Like Josie said, Josie will admit herself, won't you, that you're not a big tractor driver.
No, I hate driving tractors.
But would you say you quite enjoy topping?
Yeah, I do actually. Like when you were on holiday, my dad was like, he started off the topping, and then one day I just got on the tractor and went and did it without being asked, which like, yeah, it's quite a big thing for me because I don't just get on a tractor if I can help it. Yeah, no, it's quite nice. Yeah,
like if you're just starting out tractor driving and want to do something that's not too what's the word, scary.
Yeah,
it's a really nice
well, there's
job.
not too much that can go wrong.
No,
she says.
Always check behind, make sure things are okay. And then one more thing, I know I've rambled on a lot, but one more thing I will say before we go and speak to my dad. So we follow the cows. So I don't know if Josie's shown you, but the cows are literally next door to where we are today. And the reason we do that is because it's really important we get onto the ground before the grass has any chance to grow back. So obviously it does look a lot more cut to the side we've topped compared to the side we have, and you can see the grass is shorter. But the grass that's here now has been grazed. There's no like value to it. So there's no harm in us chopping it back, whereas if it had time to come back, then we are wasting grass. As much as there's lots of weeds within it, you really don't want to be topping away any grass. So that's why we follow the cows every single day, so we can get it topped, and then it has lots of time to grow back in its new lovely form.
Here we are with our dad.
The expert, lol.
So he's just going to tell us a bit about the topper and the tractor it's on and things like that.
Roller on the back, so you put it on the floor and that roller runs on the ground, and you set the height for the topper then by...
So hang on, question then please, Dad, about the roller. Does it roll the field, or what is the point of the roller?
It doesn't roll the field, it gauges the height. So
oh, okay.
There's different holes you can set it on. Okay, see these holes?
Yeah.
So you can put this roller up or down, and then you can cut the grass shorter or longer, whatever you want to do.
Right, okay.
So we've always put it there and we're happy with that. We're only topping off really a few thistles, a little bit of ragwort, a bit of long grass maybe. So it's not mowing the grass, it's just topping. Okay? So that sets the height. And the other thing you do then, when you put it on the floor, this top link should be in the middle so the machine does that. So it rides over the ground nicely.
Okay.
So it isn't coming off the floor and it's floating on that point there. It might show you that when you put it on the ground. Basically, other than that, if you look underneath, you come over here, Josie, shine up there. You've got this big drum which spins around in that direction and cuts the grass. So it's going forward into the grass and chopping it off like that.
Do you know what speed it goes?
It's running at 540 RPM, revs per minute.
Okay.
It does a good job. It's not as pretty as a mower. It's not as perfect, but it is mowing for ground. It will also cut quite big brash and bushes and quite a lot of stuff actually. It's quite a good job. You start high enough up and then work your way down if you have to.
So what is the difference between that and a mower?
So
like, could you
mower
mow silage with that?
No.
Can you just tell us why?
You could hack it off and it would look awful. But if you had, for instance, like silagey grass which was on roughish ground and you just wanted to get it cleared and tidied up, this would do it, but you'd probably go over it a couple of times.
Poppy says she's going to give it a go.
A mower
Here I come.
cuts everything really, really neat and tidy and lays it flat on the floor.
So is that because of the different type of cutters
Different cutters completely.
different cutters? No, we were just intrigued just because that almost gives the mowing effect, doesn't it? It looks like it's mowing the grass.
Yeah, well it is kind of. Yeah, it's a topper.
It just wouldn't.
So if you were cutting short grass like that with it, it would leave it nice and tidy. But we tend to use it for cutting bigger, stalkier
Thistles.
thistles.
Am I right to think that the roller helps to spread the muck out?
Well, it does spread the muck. I mean, it's not really
Its job.
that,
But it's quite beneficial.
yeah, it spreads it out, and it then obviously, rather than being one lump there, it's sort of spread around a bit more, so it would then give fertilisation to the rest of the grass.
And have less tufts and all them.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll put it down then and show what it looks like when it's floating.
While you're putting it down, why have you got it on this tractor and what tractor is it, ETC?
It's the old MX110, one of the best tractors ever made, and it's on it because it's the tractor that's suitable for doing the job. You can't put it on my big tractor, but it does the job fine as well, but she's usually doing other work, so yeah. You can leave it on this one for a while and it's not needed for anything else.
Yeah, so you can see the topper on.
Basically, you've got the PTO shaft coming from the tractor, which goes into a gearbox by there, which drives a shaft to a pulley here, which has belts down to the reel, the cutting drum underneath, and that's as simple as that. Those belts drive that cutter, and that's what cuts the grass. So it's quite a simple machine. It's not an awful lot to go wrong. The belts got to be kept tight. You just take these out and you can adjust the belts. Which we
did that the other day.
We did it the other day because they'd shaken loose. The adjuster's there, and that had actually snapped off. But there is also a bolt underneath which bolts that all up tight, as you can see there.
Oh yeah.
Check the oil in the gearbox is quite important. I do that at the start of the season, and sharpen the blades is quite important as well.
What are you trying to do? Open it? Why are you punching it?
So that was the nut.
Gosh, this is all really embarrassing. Shall I have a go? Oh wow! Right, put it back down. I bet I'll be able to do it.
Oh, hang on. It's not that.
Hang on. Cheating.
Well, you can't even shut it, let alone open it. Oh, look at that sky.
So that's open. That is now locked.
Good luck.
Yes!
6th attempt. Right, my turn. Shut it then, Dad. So what do I do? Move that switch over.
Whack it and move
That
it.
lever there, that goes over there, and that's what unlocks it. Because
Okay.
it's a bit tight, you have to give it a tap.
Okay.
Come on, I didn't know it was going to be that hard. Oh, you're going back. You've hit it with your actual wrist. Do it with your hands. Let's see.
Yeah, but oh, it's actually really hurting.
Well, don't do it again then. Hit it with. Do it with your fist rather than your wrist.
I hit it with my wrist. Nervous.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't care. I've come lost. I don't care. Oh, that really hurt.
You're the one that created the competition.
Yeah, but when I hit it like that, look.
Yeah,
I
you hit
whacked
your
my wrist
ass.
against it on the way down.
Are you okay?
No. Not only have I lost my dignity, but I've also got a bad wrist.
Oh,
Right.
we've got props. So if I'm in the field, I need to open the bonnet. I'll just grab my chair. I just don't think you're made for it.
You can tell I've never punched anyone. No, my hands, how did that not kill when you were doing it? I can't do it.
Right, that's it, give up then.
To be fair, this tractor, the reason we're having to hit it at all is because it's just like an old...
It's more of a...
Dad has got really tough hands though. Like, let's see your hand. Josie, put your hand next to Dad's.
Don't want to.
You see my hands do work.
It's the difference in size. Anywho, that's that really. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. If you don't see Josie now over the next week, it's probably because she's got her hand in a cast.
In a wrist like this. Both of them actually. Traumatised.
Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Just a little explanation on topping.
And yeah, we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.